There we go. Hello, welcome to the November Stampin' Craft. I'm Shannon, and we are going to be creating today two projects with the November Hero Studio. These are the projects we're making today. We're making a card featuring the November card kit, as well as actually the layering stencil. I use that for the background. These products are still available. I am also going to create a fun magnetic bookmark, which is really great for a little gift for somebody. It could actually even be included in the card. I think that would be really nice. You could cut like a little slot in the back, feed it through, and it could be a card and a gift, and they go together really nicely. So I think this is a fun little pairing today, something a little different with a actual project outside of card making. I'm going to switch over to my comments here. Hello. I see some friends are here. Welcome. Oh, you're just getting back into card making. Yay, welcome back. Card making is still so fun. I've been doing it for a long time and I still enjoy it. I'm reading all your purchase so much more than a lot of Christmas presents to me, and really want to add this this month's card kit. If you guys haven't had a chance, check it out. It's all book themed, which you can kind of tell from today's projects. Whoops. I will say the whole studio did sell out, so you can't get everything released this month all together, but you can still get these products that I share with you today. So that's still available. Basically everything you'll see today, you can still get the card kit, plus this is featuring the Stampin' Cut, which is the stamp set and die set of the month. But yeah, it was a really popular release, a lot of book lovers, which is awesome. And I think it's just great, a great collection. Okay, I'm going to change my camera view. I do want to note before I get started on these projects that, good morning, Cassie. I always do at the end of the Stampin' Craft, I do a sneak peek of next month's card kit. So at the end of this Stampin' Craft, after we create our projects, I will sneak peek the December Hero Studio card kit of the month. So stay tuned for that for the end if you want to see a sneak peek of what's coming for next month. All right, let me change views here and we will get started with today's projects. Oh, and you know what? Let me pop open I apologize. Still getting used to streaming in these different locations. Let me just open up my Instagram so I can see any comments there, and also make sure we're going live there properly. Yay, I love sharing the sneak peeks with you guys, and this next month's theme is so fun and creative. I cannot wait. Oh, I just remembered I forgot to grab the cards. I'll have to do that at some point. Run and grab the cards. If you're new to our Stampin' Craft, this is like a little mini free class. Mini is probably the wrong word because they're long and they're kind of in depth, because I make these projects completely from scratch. All the instruction though and the supply lists are available a couple days before we go live, which typically is always Sunday. A little earlier today, which is why I still have wet hair, because I'm not even used to it being this early. But I did ask for it early today because I have a birthday party for my niece to go to. Why is this not popping up? Are we not live there? Did I do something wrong? Sorry guys, I don't think I hit go live. Okay, there we go. Let's try that again. Sorry. I realized I wasn't live on Instagram, even though I did hit go live. Okay, now we're live on Instagram. Hello friends on Instagram. Welcome to the November Stampin' Craft. We're going to create these two projects today. There we go. Now I see it. Oops. And let me make sure this is completely volume down. Okay. Now we're ready to rock and roll. Hello. I'm going to pop back over to my other. There we go. I know this is a tough time, right? It's a tough time with all the gift buying and everything else. I understand. But it is a really great collection. And I can see why it's like, oh, I want to try to figure out how I can squeeze it in, because they're so cute. The products are so cute. Just move this wire out of the way here. All right. let's get started. So the first project we're going to create is this card here. And again, this features the card kit, which is actually still available. I'm going to grab my grip mat here because we're going to do some stenciling. And we're also going to do some paste. And because I am doing a stencil with paste, I have down below me a bowl of water. Let's see if I can grab it. Good morning, friends on Instagram. Welcome, welcome. Hello from New Mexico. Is it cold there? It's so cold now, right now in Arizona. We've had a big storm, and I think you guys are experiencing the same thing, or you're getting our storm very soon. I'm in Arizona, by the way, if you do not know. Spellbinders and myself is in Arizona. All right, here's our bowl of water for later to dump my stencil in because it's going to be covered in paste. So I do have that ready just so I don't have to get up and clean it in the middle of our live. Put it back on the ground. Hopefully not spill it. All right, and we do have a panel of colored cardstock. I love doing stencils on top of colored cardstock. It just changes the look of them a little bit as opposed to always using white cardstock. So I have a piece of Seaside. This is a very light blue. It makes my camera freak out though every time wants to go all red and weird. We're going to stick that down onto our, and I love that you guys are seeing this. It's been too warm for this time of year. Oh, so you're hoping it gets a little cooler for you. I hope the storm's coming your way then. I'm going to stick this down on my grip mat. I'm going to grab the layering stencils from this month, November layering stencils. It's a super cute. Now, these are not part of the card kit. I like to kind of mix it up because the products they work so well together. So these are actually the layering stencils of the month. It's a 4-piece layering stencil set, and it creates that really beautiful, almost like bookshelves loaded with books. So we're going to use this. I'm going to start with stencil 1. All the stencils are labeled. Now here stencils have these 4 registration marks that you can use to really easily line them up. But this stencil is pretty easy to line up all on its own. I can just eyeball it and center it. I can even use the card that I've made to help me just get that placement right. But basically this is the top of one book, the side and the bottom, and that's the side there. So I can kind of use these books here to help me. But the best part is if it is at all, you find it all confusing or tricky, just use a bigger piece of cardstock, and you don't even have to use a bigger piece of colored cardstock. You could stick your A2 panel onto your colored cardstock with some double-sided tape. Then stick your panel down, ink blend those little registration marks, and then when you put the next stencil on, you'll be able to line it up every time. So it's helpful that way. Okay, so that looks pretty centered to me. I think that looks great. I'm going to start ink blending. The first layer is in a light teal. This is Arctic. This is actually one of my favorite colors. So pretty. We're going to go pretty heavy-handed with it because it is so light. And you know what am I doing? I need my ink stand. Let me grab that. Makes it so much easier. Where'd she go? There she is. There she is. Okay. Stick my ink stand. Also, it's a great way to kind of see what color I'm using. Just adjust that a little bit. Okay. So ink blend this with Arctic. I'm going to go pretty heavy-handed. And I'm going to come back to this stencil and actually some of the other ones just to bring out some of the details. I think sometimes, and this is definitely true for myself, I get kind of rigid with stencils. You're not late for the party. You're just in time. I'm so glad you made a live too. We're doing a little different time today. I wonder if this is a better time for you guys. I had to ask to change it because I have my niece's birthday party I'm going to today. But if this is a better time for you guys, that we can make that happen. We're always trying to figure out what's a good time. You never will be able to find the perfect time for everybody, but I'd love to know like a good time in general. It's just more fun when you guys can show up and see them. All right, so that's my first layer. And again, we will come back to this stencil one just to bring out some details. Switchball at noon, yep. And that's typically when we do it is noon. All right, so now we have stencil 2. I'm going to line this up. We're starting now to actually overlap some of the books that we previously ink blended. And I think we're almost there. Again, I'm eyeballing it. Probably should have, I'm going to go down a little bit more. I could always do, I don't say I should have, but I could always have done use the registration marks. But I'm just so used to eyeballing it. Almost there. Okay, that looks great. Some weird fuzz. Let's get out of the way. Alrighty, now we're going to move on to a slightly darker shade. We're going to do Paradise, a really beautiful teal. Love this color. This is also a core ink. And I'll ink blend this. Oh no! I think we're okay. Oh no! My sticky mat failed me. I think I didn't press hard enough. Okay, let's really press this time. There we go. This is a much more richer, darker teal. This is also one of my favorites. But I love that Arctic, that lighter one for skies. I use that a lot for skies. So I find it really useful. And I like the lighter colors because I'm a heavy-handed ink blender. So it's easy even for lighter colors for me to build up that intensity. What's hard for me is to start soft as a heavy-handed ink blender. So that's why I like lighter shades, because default setting, they're lighter in color. So it's harder for me to start out so heavy-handed with them and be really blotchy and messy. But that's another great thing about stencils is they're really forgiving. Especially ones that with smaller openings like this one, it's very difficult to make it really splotchy. Hey, Rosie. Yes, I know, Rosie. I feel that too, but I love them all. And Rosie just said that she says that this one's very versatile. And this month's kit. And I agree, it really is. But she's like, I feel like I say that every month. She's on our creative team. She's amazing. So good. Oh, I'm so glad you're here, Polly. But yes, this is this month's theme, so fun. And the products were really versatile, which we always love. All right. I think that's dark enough. We'll stop there. I'm going to grab my tweezers to help me pry this off. Oh my gosh, so cute already. Oh, look at how cute it is. So pretty already. All right, let's grab our next stencil number 3. This one we're going to go kind of crazy. I think, did I do these out of order? I think I did do them out of order. Oh well. Once again, I'm going rogue. It'll be fine. I think what I did last time was on stencil 2, I used green apple, but it's okay. We'll use green apple here. Not a big deal. All right, that looks great. Let's really give that a good stick. Maybe it'll even be better. Maybe it'll even be better than the other one. Okay, this one is another core ink, super pretty, very kind of on that lime green. All right. It's freezing in the Bay Area. Oh my gosh, is it really? It's cold here in Arizona, but I think if I said it was freezing, I think people would come after me because I don't know. It's 57, okay? That's cold in Arizona, especially in Phoenix. That's cold. Ooh, do I like this order better? I might. I love how the colors layered on top of each other look so good. Oh my gosh, Rosie says, I have a woodblock stamp that says, you are literally amazing. And this kit would go perfectly with it. It absolutely would. That's a great sentiment. All right, I think we're almost done here with the green apple. And I chose these colors because I do love greens and blues together, but so these are very similar colors to some of the paper that's included in the card kit. You get a beautiful array of papers in the card kit, and I think these inks kind of really go with that. Oh my gosh, I stinking love this combo. I'll do a little bit of Bermuda here and there, but overall, I really love the way this looks. I had a fourth color picked out just to kind of bring in some darker, richer teal. But I really do love it just as it is. I totally could stop here. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay. Hi, Libby. Hi, friend. All right, so let's grab those stencils again. And I'm just going to pick out some parts I think that got kind of lost. So maybe I'll do this here. And I now want to balance it out. So I'll do that in the teal, or Bermuda, I should say. We'll do those. So we'll just pick and choose. We don't need to overcomplicate this. Shannon, don't overcomplicate it. I need someone to do that. Whisper that in my ear because that is something I'm very good at. All right, I think I'm going to just try to hit that. This is Bermuda. It's a dark teal, a gorgeous color. So pretty. So we've gone through like a light, medium, and a dark teal now. And then, of course, that beautiful. Okay, we're going to do this book too because I can't avoid it. I should have grabbed my teenier blending brush. It's fine. Trying to decide what else. Maybe we'll do this book here. Just picking different ones here and there. And I think I'll stop there. So maybe I'll just do like 2 books on each one. Oh, Rosie says, it's just kidding. It says, you are literally the best. And it's back in stock. Oh, well, literally the best. That's also just as good. 47 in Twin Cities. Woo. So is it 47 in, oh, you guys, that's colder than 57. Clearly. Duh. But I'm still standing by 57 in Arizona, especially here, is pretty cold where I am. Okay, this is stencil 2. So I'm just working my way back through those 3 first stencils. And this is, I could have stopped easily, but I just wanted to highlight a couple of the details that may have got lost a little bit. Make them pop a little bit more. And I think I'll do that one there and I'll be done with this stencil layer. Yeah, right? That's cold where you guys are. That's cold in the Bay Area and over there. California. Oops. I did not press my stencil down enough. Okay. Let's see now. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. It looks so good with just making some of these parts a little darker. I love it. Back to the first stencil. Just line it back up, which is, again, very easy to do. It's not hard to do. And I'll just pick a couple places here to ink blend darker. I think definitely that, and maybe this one right here. So, and then I think we'll be donesies. Thanks, Carrie. Yeah, it gets a little bit more of that contrast. And I think that adds more depth. I think, what did I say? This one? I forgot what I said. This one here. I think I can do that one. Oh, we'll do these two. That's what we'll do. I'm picking ones I know that I won't. I can probably ink blend without messing up the book next to it, without making a big mess. That's the logic behind it. And balancing out this darker color over the whole panel, kind of. I think that's it. Let's pull it back and let's see. All right, let's see how we did. Ooh, Michelle says we're 52 in Albuquerque. It has been in the 70s most of November. So that kind of backs up what Little Drops in a Bucket was saying too. She's from, she's on Instagram, and she's from, where did she say? New Mexico. So yeah, we took a spring break to New Mexico last year, actually this year technically, and it was so wonderful. Really enjoyed our trip there, but it was cold. It was cold. But it was also, there was a huge storm just before we got there. So this is library love. Isn't it great? Okay, so that's the finished panel. I love the little bit of darker here and there. I just think that makes things pop a little bit more and wasn't very hard to do. Okay, now we're going to add this final stencil. This is the fourth stencil. And the reason why I had to do all this first and go back and kind of touch it up is because once I do this stencil layer with the paste, I have to set this panel aside to dry. And there's no more messing around with it after that. So we're going to line up the stencil. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Oh, great. Thanks, Rosie, for checking. Yep, the card kit and the stencil are still available. Unfortunately, the whole studio is no longer available, but that just means you have to purchase these things kind of separately that I'm using today. But I'm not using every product from the release, so which the whole studio has every product in the release. But these, like the layering stencil, still available, which Rosie looked it up. Thank you. And the card kit, which we haven't got to yet. The card kit is what we're going to use for our focal point. So, but the layering stencils are still available. Okay, so now we're going to grab some hero paste. Now the card kit comes with hero wax, which you could do this layer with hero wax. They comes with the gold, which is beautiful. It's creamy, it's dreamy. I love it so much. But just for changes, just to do something different, I'm using the hero paste. But so if you get the card kit, you can still do this with just what comes in the card kit. It just would be gold instead of the white, which is what I'm doing today. I chose to do the white just to kind of change things up a little bit. So let me grab the hero paste, dig it out of my drawer here. So this is what I'm using, hero paste. I love the hero paste because you can actually colorize it too. So it's just one of those great, really versatile texture mediums to have in your tool belt or in your craft room. That's probably a better way to say it, Shannon. So it's a really awesome texture medium because there's lots of fun things you can do with it. Today we're using it as simply as possible, which is just applying it over as it comes, white over the stencil. So I'm going to pull some out with my palette knife, place it over. And gosh, this is always so satisfying, applying the texture medium over your stencil. I love it every time. I love the scraping sound. Does that bother anybody? I wonder for those things where it's like nails on a chalkboard for some people. For me, it's like, oh yeah, that sounds really good. But I could see it being a little scrapey sounding and maybe somebody not liking it. Okay, we're almost there. I'm trying to be careful, not be really messy is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to not get it all over my grip mat because I'm not going to be able to kind of clean everything like I normally would because I just have that bowl of water down below me. All right, I think that's good. All right, let's stop there. Satisfying, right? Very satisfying. It's those little things. Okay, he's going, my dirty palette knife going in my water bucket. Let's grab nice tweezers. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Okay, I will hold it to the camera here in just a minute. Get that stencil in water ASAP. But look at that beautiful white. And which is, always tricky to do. It's always trickier to get a light color on like colored cardstock. So that's why texture mediums, especially in a white color, are so wonderful because now you've got that pop of white, which is so pretty. And it's going to incorporate some of the white from our sentiment as well. But it's also adding a little bit of texture, which is fun. So super cool. Love the way it looks. I'm going to set this aside to dry. Yes, it's great for masculine cards. I'm glad you brought that up because I think that is something we're always like thinking about is how do we make some masculine cards or masculine projects with these products that we have. And this one is very versatile. It can really do both, just like kind of changing your colors because books, everybody reads books. All right. So let's move on to the focal point of the card while our panel is drying. And I'm very worried. We'll see how that panel dries just because it is so wet right now in Arizona because we've had so much storms and I'm used to things drying really quick. So we'll see how it goes. I'm reading the comments here. I used the wax on my card. I loved how it turned out. Oh, I'm so glad you gave it a try. Awesome. I'm so glad you gave it a try with the gold wax. The gold wax is wonderful. It's beautiful. So creamy, dreamy. I had done it several projects for several cards and I just wanted to try something different. Yeah, the paste is so good, Michelle. It's really wonderful. Okay, let's move on to, I look a little frozen on Instagram. Have I been freezing on Instagram? What's the dealio there? I don't know. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to watch both things and see how it goes. All right. Or was I just holding it and talking? That could definitely be it. Right, we look all crooked. Let's straighten that out. All right, let's move on to our focal point. Now, these dies are from the November card kit. I keep forgetting what we call this, but I keep calling it the reader because it creates a person who reads. And you know what? If you haven't seen it, I have my projects here. Let me show you what this looks like if you were to really kind of, because we're only using parts of it. We're going to use the book and the hands, but you can create a whole reader as a focal point too. Let's do this card. Here, by the way, here's the wax. Here's what that gold wax looks like. So pretty. Perfect for books. Here's what the reader looks like all put together. And this one, I opted to not use the little side ponytail, which is this die here. So the reader has short hair. So it could be a boy, could be just somebody with short hair. The wax is so good, guys. I'm glad it's included. And here's the reader with the ponytail. And there's two versions for the hair. You can have like a wavy hair or a straight hair, but I chose the wavy hair. So there she is reading. Super cute set. I love the dies. And these, if you're talking about these books here on this one, these are actually books. They're created with the die set that's also included in the card kit. So I'm just using a few pieces of the card kit today, but there's even more including the card kit. And I really encourage you, if you're interested in the card kit, definitely go check out our other videos on YouTube, or just go to our Hero Arts website and see the whole contents of the card kit right there. But we have a lot of videos going over everything, and actually a whole video on how I created this card on our YouTube channel. And I actually take the books, the dies that create this books. I don't know why this is so hard for me to say. Sorry, guys. The dies that create this stack of books, I actually kind of tweak it a little bit, because the stack of books looks like this here. And I kind of cut it and tweak it so it's now like a vertical stack of books versus this like landscape stacked pile of books, if that makes any sense. So definitely check that out there. This is also included in the card kit. It's such a great card kit. Really, really strong. Thank you. I'm glad you like how I did the stencil. All right, so we're going to move on to putting together our little focal point. And what I like about this one and this card that we're making today is, just, again, it just shows you, and I'm glad that the card we're making today, another way to use these, the reader dies. You can use them without constructing a whole reader. You can just kind of have the hands holding a book, or you could even have just the book if you don't want the hands. That's another option too. And you can use whatever colored cardstock you have to kind of personalize it to the person you're actually sending it to, which is nice. Yes, I'm so glad too. Yes, Linda's pointing out that she's so glad the dies come without the tabs or detabbed. And that is so true. Yeah, they come, mine's transferred onto a magnetic sheet. So they don't come in a magnetic sheet, but they do come all ready to go. Like there's no clipping to separate them from each other. They're all clipped and ready to go, which is nice. So you don't have to worry about little clip metal pieces, which I don't know. I never had a metal piece get into my eye before, but with card making, but I did have a little metal wire piece when I was back in college when my art, fine art days. A little metal piece got into my eye, and a little bit of wire clippings. It hurt so bad and was so scary. So I'm really glad that I don't even have to worry about that anymore. The pre-clipped or detabbed dies are so nice. I heartily agree with you, Linda. Isn't the theme so good? I love it too. I'm sure I didn't have to try very hard to make you love the stencil because it's such a good one. All right, we're going to grab the book here. Let's just start with the book. I'm going to cut this out of Waterfall. This is a colored cardstock that's included in the kit. So again, a lot included in the card kit. You have colored cardstocks as well. Let's just die cut this out. Let's see. I'm just using these little scraps here and there. And you know what? I'm going to move this. And I'm dropping markers, throwing things. I'm going to try to move my die cutting machine on screen so you have at least something to look at while I'm doing my die cutting. Plus, some of you, we can always have some new people here and there who may have never seen die cutting before. And, you know, I don't know you guys, but die cutting was definitely one of my, like, that's it. I'm obsessed with card making now. Once I discovered die cutting, I was like, okay, this is it. This is all I want to do. I love this. Always been a stamper, been a longtime stamper, and still love to stamp. But die cutting was just like, I was like, what is this? This is magic. Okay, I have some beautiful fawn cardstock here. I'm going to die cut my hands out of that. Yes, isn't that great that it comes with the quality cardstock? And this is really good quality cardstock. It is 100-pound weight, so a wonderful thickness, and these colors are so beautiful. Really, really pretty colors. Now, this color cardstock does not come in the kit. Fawn does not come. That's the only color I use that doesn't come in the kit. But you do get 10 different sheets of colored cardstock in total. And there are so many dies on here that actually decorate the book. You have leaves and flowers. These are actually flowers. They create petals, and you have flower centers. You did see it here on this card. The book all decorated. I'm not going to do that, but if you want to do that on your book, please do. I wanted to give it a different kind of feel this time. But that's one of the things. There's just so much flexibility. Yes, no fawn in the kit. I know. I was like talking about how perfect, terrible timing. It's how it always goes. We're talking about how great the cardstocks are, colors are, and I'm using one color that's not included in the kit. Of course, these two dies here actually create like a colored panel on the front of the cover. So I'm going to die cut these actually twice because I want. What this will do is cut the frame, but I'll also cut that panel that goes on the cover. So I'm going to cut them out of Seaside, which is the same colored cardstock that we used for our stenciled panel. But I'm also going to die cut it out of a green that matches that beautiful green apple that we incorporated. Okay, come on. Give this a little adjustment here. There we go. Yes, the kit is still available, Heather. Sorry, I did not see your comment. It's still available. To find it, you go to our Hero Arts webpage and you will find like subscriptions. Where's my mouse? Where did he go? There he is. I just want to pull it up. So, you know what? Let's do it over here. This is safer. So when you're at the home page, I can't show you, unfortunately, but you'll see subscribe at the top. You'll see shop, coming soon, new, sale, subscribe. If you click subscribe, you'll see, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see card kit. You'll see a video, and then you scroll a little bit past that, and then you'll see the card kit, and that's where you can get it. So hope that's somewhat helpful. Oh, you're on your phone. Maybe that's it. But you should be able to find it, but it is trickier to sometimes find things on websites via the phone. I get that. Okay, I need my tool to kind of pop this out. See that cardstock's in there. I can't even remember. Am I using this one or not? I can't remember. We'll just pop it out. I think I am using this. So it's a really teeny tiny little frame in addition to these guys that we cut out. We're going to save all of that. I can't remember which one I use right now, but I'll look at my card. Oh, I use the inside part. But we have to pop this out anyways because we need it clean, the die clean and clear to do our almost our last bit of die cutting. Okay, so this is Peridot, beautiful green. Cut that. This is also included in the kit. It's wonderful color. And then I'm going to grab this die here, and this creates die cuts a bunch of little details for the spine of the book. And I'm going to cut it here. All right. We're almost ready to go. Stick that down. And this is almost our last bit of die cutting. Only other die cutting we have is the sentiment for the card, but we still have to stamp that still. Oh, you know, I take that back. We have the pages. We have the pages we have to cut. All right. Now I am so worried about losing. Oh, I think they shifted. I'll have to cut that again. I'm gonna have to cut that again. Let me get rid of those. the die shifted a little bit when I ran it back through. So we'll just cut them again. And I'm going to get a little trinket container, so I don't have to worry about losing all those pieces. Oh yeah, that cut better. That is definitely something I will do. All right, here we go. And again, the first card I made with I actually made this card twice. The first card I made, I didn't put these details on. I kind of forgot about it, to be honest. And it still looked great. So if this seems a little fussy for you, this is definitely one detail you can just leave out. Alrighty, that's done. We have, I don't know if I need him or not, but we'll stick him in there. I think that was one too many. There's only 6. I think I got 7. Oh well. Let's put that back. And we're going to grab the last die, which is this Pages die. Pop these back on. Take out that negative piece though. Alrighty. I've lost the book. Oh, here he is. Like, how do I always do that? Okay, and then we'll cut this out of white cardstock. So I'm gonna grab some white cardstock. Here we go. And we'll cut out the pages. And then we'll be ready to rock and roll. Start putting this together. And I'll show you a trick that I have for glue on very small little dies or die cuts. There's our pages. Okay, let's put this together. Let's get our die cutting machine out of here. Let's start putting all of this together. Okie dokie. All right, the first thing that I need to do, and this is, I think, the trickiest part about these dies here, these die cuts, is that there is really only one way these fit on the pages. And it's best, like if you flip this around, you'll find, and it is subtle, but you'll notice it doesn't quite fit right, doesn't line up right. I don't know if I can show this because the die will create these beautiful little indents on the cardstock, so you know where things line up. I'm gonna do my best to illustrate this, but it may not come across my camera, but it doesn't quite line up right. So I'm just gonna make sure I get these all, lined up the way they're supposed to go before I start gluing anything down. Look at my original here real quick, just so I remember. Okay, so I do the green. I think he has to be flipped around. I don't think I flipped him yet, but let's just check. Yep, he needs to be flipped. See if that lines up better. Nope, I didn't flip it. I dropped it, but didn't flip it. Okay, there we go. That's the way it goes. So that's going to go there. And the same thing with these inside panel parts. So I'm not using these. I'm not going to use the green, but I'll save these for another project. I'm not going to use the little seaside frame. I'll save those for another project, another day. I got to make sure this one goes here, but I'm not sure how yet. And this one I think goes like that. Nope. See, it doesn't quite, or yes, that looks good actually. Okay. And then this one, let's get this lined up and see. I'm going to turn it around. Okay. Nope, I had it right the first time. There we go. And let's just line this up and see. Nope. Flip that around. Perfect. Okay. That's all our pieces ready to go. I'm going to grab some scrap cardstock. Scrap paper, really. It doesn't have to be cardstock. And I'm going to grab my precision glue. And I'm just going to squeeze out some onto the cardstock. Or onto the paper. It's a little clogged. There we go. And we're going to start with the frames. Just going to dip it into that glue. I don't want to get turn it around too much because I don't want to get confused on the way it goes because I spent all that time figuring out how it goes. And then I'll just tap off. You guys can't see it on Instagram, can you? So I have a little pile of glue, dipped it in. I'll tap off the excess, and then I'll just stick it down. And it's just because this frame is so thin that I'm doing the glue that way. I often use my tweezers to clean up any excess glue that didn't get tapped off. And now we'll glue this panel down. And this time I'll just squeeze the glue out. They're really pretty. I like the colors too. I'm a sucker for teal. I just love teal so much. I think it's so pretty. So I will often do projects with tons of teal. All right, let's do this one again. The other one, just kind of repeat the process. Dip it into my glue a little bit here and there. Another way I'll do it too is sometimes I'll just straight up add the glue. I do think this was maybe a tad bit more wasteful, but I don't know. Honestly, they're both probably the same. Sometimes I'll just add the glue straight to the die cut in different places, and then I'll just tap off the excess because I don't want that glue kind of squirting out everywhere and making things messy. Perfect. All right, now it's time for this guy. He's easy. Pop him in. Great. So we have our 2 covers done. And at this point, you could start decorating with all the leaves and the flowers that are those dies that are included in this die set. But I'm keeping it simple for this card, just also because I have a very busy background with the paste and all the books. All right. Let's do our these guys are little teeny tiny little, and there are indents. There are little marks that the die creates on the cardstock, so you know where to place these, but they really can go wherever you want them to go. I'm going to try to see them. If the light catches them, I can see them a little bit better. Okay, stick. My tweezers are doing too good of a job holding them in. Oh, I'm so glad you love it. I love it too. I think it's a great set. Pull this back over. And again, dip it into our glue a little bit. And again, if this part feels a little too fussy, these are optional details. They do not have to be added. But I do think they're worth the little extra effort because they really step it up a notch. Oh my gosh, it's looking so cute. When did you two stop sharing our names during lives? I don't know. Work has been keeping me too busy. It's been so long since I made one. I do not know that. I can see your names, but I'm seeing a different view. I'm seeing you through StreamYard. I don't know. I'll have to see what, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure what it is. Right now I'm streaming on YouTube, Facebook, our Facebook group, and Instagram as well. So hello, welcome. Okay, we've got 2 more to go. And I have 1 extra left over because remember I grabbed one and I was like, is this one I need or not? I wasn't sure, so I just put it in my little trinket bowl, triangle bowl. Feels like I shouldn't call it a bowl when it's triangular in shape. All right, that is done. Now, well, at least the tricky part. Now we just have the hands and the pages, which are really easy. Now the pages don't actually overlap anything. So the way that I like to keep them in place is with a little piece of tape. So I'm gonna grab this. Let's see, find the end. Grab my scissors. I'm gonna cut it in half. Flip this over and just add a little bit at the top. Okay. Whoops. So now it has a little bit of tape at the top for me to stick these pages to. You can also use the foam adhesive. I will pop this whole book up with foam adhesive. So that's another opportunity to stick those books down to. Oh, Linda, you said we ran into another class. You can connect in your YouTube settings. I did. Oh, okay. That's so weird. Okay, I'll have to look into that, Linda. That's really interesting. I don't know why that's the case. That's so weird. I didn't know that I was changing your names back and forth. That's so weird. Huh. Interesting, guys. It's annoying when they change things, isn't it? It can be so annoying. It's like you get so used to how something is, and then if they change it, sometimes it's quite a hassle to kind of figure out how to go back. I'm going to glue these hands down. They really could go wherever you want them to. You could really kind of play with that if you want to hold to the sides. That would look cute too. Oh my gosh. I really love the way that looks. I wish I hadn't glued down one hand already. I think I would have been able to fit them in on the sides. That's kind of a cute way too, coming out from the sides. Oh, shoot. Wish I thought of that before I glued that other one down. Oh well. Oh well. All right, hands are in place. It's no longer available. Oh no, Becky, I'm so sorry. It was available earlier. I'm gonna just check. Becky's just said that the card kit's no longer available. Let me see. It was available earlier. Wait a minute. Let me refresh. I think you might be right. I think I'm seeing that too. Well, shoot, guys, I'm sorry. Usually we try to do these when there's still availability, but there is always a chance a kit can, any of the subscriptions can sell out. And I'm afraid this one may have. When we started, I don't think it had, but it may have sold out. Some of these products are still available. Like I think the layering stencil is. Let's see if I can check. it's not showing, but like it doesn't show that it's sold out, but I'm seeing kind of what you're seeing, Lorna, is that I can't click on it. Nothing happens when I click on it, which usually means it's gone. Let's see what the stencil says. Can we do the stencil? Oh, the stencil says add to cart. Okay, so the stencil is still available. Card kit, unfortunately, is not. Well, the new card kit, which I will sneak peek at the end of this live, which I know it's totally different theme, so I know this is probably not very helpful. But if you don't want to miss out, next month card kit, I will sneak at the end of this. That will be available. You can start ordering that and subscribing to the new one because it looks like November sold out. The December one, December 1st, I believe, for sure. So check that here. I'm checking too, Rosie says. I could click from my phone. Yeah, sorry, guys. This is, sometimes that happens. It's always a bummer when I'm showing. I always feel so bad when I'm showing you guys things you can't get. It really does make me feel bad. I feel like I'm teasing you and I don't like that. Okay, let me grab I'm stamping the sentiment now. Oh yeah, the die sets is still available. So cute. The die set, let me show you real quick. Creates a book bag, like Rosie's talking about. It creates a super cute book bag with books that you can create. And the cutest patootis little bookworm. So fun. So there's still some things available, but it looks like the card kit is not. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, it is a good thing for us, but I still feel bad. I still feel bad for you guys. But the December one is so good, and right now you still have a chance for December. And I will show that. I will sneak it. I won't forget. I got it all ready. Okay, I'm trying to find some white cardstock. I had it out before. It disappeared. So what that means, Shannon, you just give up and get some new white cardstock, okay? Here's some new white cardstock. We'll use this. All right, we're going to stamp our sentiment. This is a sentiment set that was included in the card kit. And it has some really fun obviously book-themed sentiments. We're going to do Books Are My Happy Place. And I think this would be a really cute card to give with the bookmark that we're going to create. Now, the bookmark we're going to create, guys, after this, the bookmark, I'm certain the Stampin' Cut's still available. So the bookmark we create after this, that's definitely, all those products are still available. It's only this card. But I think a fun book-themed card with the bookmark and even a book would be such a great gift. Books Are My Happy Place, which is actually what I'm thinking about doing. It is super right. Like I said, Rosie, my dear friend, is on our creative team. And so she has already seen the December Hero Studio, and it is so good. And the card kit is wonderful. If we bought the studio, are we automatically subscribed for next month too? Yes, you are, but you can opt out. You can still do it like one. You're not like beholden to like a 6-month subscription or anything like that. You can't just do a 1-month thing, but you are automatically enrolled for the next one. And you do have a period of time where you can opt out. They don't charge until the 3rd. So you like a sneak peek like this that I gave you, and we do some sneak peeks on our Instagram account and I think Facebook as well, where you can see the next month's theme. And that's your little window of time. I believe it's like the 27th through the 1st. Might even be a bigger window of time than that. But that's your window of time. If you're seeing the sneak peeks and you're not really interested, that's your window of time to opt out of the next month's subscription. But I don't think you're going to want to because next month is really good. I'm grabbing my Intensified Black ink. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Maureen. I'm sending you good, healthy vibes. Feel better vibes. I'm going to grab my block. These are back in stock though. Yay! I love this scrubber. I didn't even show you how I use it to clean my stamps and my stencils. It's so good. Oh, yes. Hello. Oh, you met me at the assembly. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Oh, thank you. That was such a great event. I have a friend from on Instagram, you guys. There is an incredible craft store that puts on this wonderful stamping event in Yosemite, and it's so great. Stamp Escape. It's really wonderful. If you are looking for a in-person event, and if you're lucky enough to be in California, definitely look it up. It's the Cat's Meow, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. It's the Cat's Meow, right? Such a good store. Such great event too. Yes. Yes, the Cat's Meow was so fun. Such a great event. I loved it too. It was really fun. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you found me again and found Hero again. I love that. Okay. Beautiful location too. Oh, stunning. So pretty there. And you get to just the whole day, you're making cards and projects from different teachers. Carissa Wiley is there. And some other incredible brands. She gets to come and teach classes. So it's a really super fun event. And I think she does it every year. So if you're lucky enough to live by that store, close enough to go, I would highly recommend it. All right. I am trying to grab my coordinating dies here, line them up. I can't always tell. I just have to test them out. Now, where is this? Books? There we go. Okay. Let's grab some tape to hold that in place. And we are going to die cut this out. Oh, you're creating in bed, Maureen? I'm going back. I'm missing some comments here and there, so I'm going back and reading your comments. That is awesome that you have found a way to still be creative and do things you love. I love that. Yes, I can see that some of the intricate things might be too tedious. I get that. But the stenciling is a really smart choice. Yeah, stenciling, and I love stenciling. It's one of my favorites products because there is just so many fun techniques and things you can do with them. Like the paste, like you saw that I did earlier. And they're so easy. They're so easy. But you can also kind of make them more complicated if you want to. That's what I love about stenciling. They're just so great. I'm so glad that it wasn't really a thing for these layering stencils, guys. Game changer. They are so fun. All right, we're almost done here. I always feel like I take that extra care of time to really get my die cut centered or my die centered on my stamped images, because like I always say, it's like carpentry. This is your cut, measure twice, cut once. This is the card making equivalent of that. Alrighty, let's pull this off. And we are ready to wrap this card up. We have all the parts. We just have to hope, fingers crossed, our panel is dry. And then we'll move on to the bookmark, which will go pretty quick. The longest thing about the bookmark is the coloring, but it's still a pretty easy image to color. All right, our sentiments are done. Books are my happy place. So cute. Put that away. You know what? I'm gonna go the extra step and actually put my stamps away too. my gosh, I didn't even think about Linda. Linda said, she made a great comment. The just one more chapter sentiment, which is on here, down here at the bottom, would be great for a retirement card. I didn't even think of that. That's so clever. It really would be so good. I never even thought of that. Brilliant. You guys are brilliant. Seriously. All right. Let's tuck these guys in. There, and put that away so I don't lose anything. I have a really bad habit of losing all my stuff. Okay, we got our focal point, our sentiment. Let's get our panel here. All right. Test, is the paste dry? I think it's dry. Yay! Popped off nice and easy. Love that. And now let's grab, I don't think I have a card base. Do I have a card base ready to go? I failed. I did not get a card base ready. Oh, luckily I have one pretty much ready to go. I just need to score it. Let me grab that. All right, Linda, I'm glad you were able to catch some of it. I hope what game were you watching, friend? So we can root for your team. Hopefully, and hopefully there's no conflicting, any rivalries. See, I'm a basketball girly. I'm not a football girly. I like my basketball. So I don't have a team. I'm impartial. Nice, Maureen. Oh, cool. I'm glad you were able to pick those things up. All right, we're going to do tape runner. Oh, nice. Yeah, me too. Basketball. I played, so that's why I have more of an affinity for it. And I like baseball, to be honest. I do like baseball. I particularly like going to baseball games. I think that's fun when you're going to go to a game. Okay. There we go. That's all stuck into the card base. Look how cute it is. I love that background. And it's so strong. I think the background's so strong just as it is. It could even just be a simple sentiment added to it. Now we're going to add our book. Oh, it looks so good. Oh, I love it. I'm going to grab some foam adhesive. Why are all my things missing? We'll use this last little bit that we have. Nice, Maureen. Love it. There's my scissors here. Which ink colors did I use? Great question. I used 4 colors. I used Arctic. Let's see if I can point out. So light teal. Let's grab them here on screen, even better. That's smarter, Shannon. I used Arctic, which is the lightest teal. Paradise, which is kind of the medium teal. Green apple. Some of these are still available, some are not. Right there. And Bermuda, which is a darker teal. Those are the colors I used. And that I just selectively kind of ink blended here and there to make some of the darker colors. All right, we're gonna add some foam. I'm adding foam adhesive right now. To the back side of our focal point. And the book was actually created with basically colored cardstocks, except for one that was included in the kit. One being the fawn. I'm not going to count the white. Yes, Serene, you got this, girl. We're totally sending you healing hugs. And take care of yourself for reals. Like, really prioritize yourself. I don't think women do that enough. I think it's hard for us. to do that. All right, I'm going to stand up because I cannot get anything centered sitting down. Looks like I can't even do it standing either. Go a little bit more upward. There we go. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I can't handle it. I really love this. I love how I did the green. I love my mistake. The green in a different spot than I typically. I used it with a different stencil. And I love the way it turned out. So cute. Oh, stuck. All right, and we're gonna add some foam adhesive to the back side of our sentiment. It's stuck to my table, so I made the mistake of sticking it down to my table. It's cattywinks. I agree. I love the green too. Oh, hello, friend. Hello, Natalie. I saw we have Natalie from Scraps of Love, which is our incredible stamping and card making store. Well, all things kind of fun paper craft store, actually. But that's my go-to place for paper crafting supplies in person, where I can get them in person. But Chris, the owner of the store, just had a wonderful big birthday. So happy late birthday to Chris. Her store is amazing. Oh, and I need to get down there because I want to get the new Misty. And I'm like, I need to get down there and check out the new Misty and see how that works, right? 60th. Yes, we have been celebrating all as you should. I keep trying to get everybody to celebrate. You know what? I'm just going to celebrate my birthday for a whole weekend. And everybody can they're just going to have to deal with it from now on. They're just going to have to start dealing with it. Because that's what you should be doing. You should be celebrating your birthday all weekend long. I agree. You know what? This is the tricky part. I think I'm going to try to tape them together. No, I'm just going to eyeball it. We'll just go for it. Though I have this weird, I can see a little bit of the foam tape sticking out from the bottom, and that's going to make me nuts. I got to fix that. Okay, there we go. Is it so fun? Yeah, I have to play with it. I mean, I'm getting one regardless. Like, I'm going to get one. That's a given. But I just want to play with it too. Like, really see how it works. And I'm definitely due for a visit at the store for sure. Are you guys doing anything for next weekend? Because that's what I'm thinking I can probably make it happen. Are you guys doing some fun, like, Black Friday dealios, promotions and things? Yeah, so if you guys are in Arizona, this is you're near Phoenix, you're in the valley, Scraps of Love is your store. You want to head over there. Okay, there it is, all finished. So cute, very, very fun. Love it. And this was, again, I think one that could be could be given to could be a more masculine kind of card for sure. Definitely even works as if you were sending it to a lady or a girl for sure. Really cute. My daughter and her husband celebrate their birthdays for an entire week. That is what I'm talking about, Lisa. That is what I'm talking about. I need that in my life. We are, and the 5th Saturday. Oh, okay. Thanks, Natalie. I got to head down there. I got to head over there. I need to do some shopping. All right, there's our finished card. Let's move on to our bookmark that we're going to create. This is a magnetic bookmark. It's very fun, very easy to make. I think this would be a really great little gift item, especially for somebody who's a reader. You could easily, once I go through the steps of making this could be personalized for somebody too. I think it'd be really fun to include it in the card. If you just cut a little slit in here, You could then feed the back half through, which I might try to do. And that would be such a fun little surprise. You open the card and then there's that bookmark. And if you were to give this with a whole book, how fun is that, right? So cute. Ditto, Natalie, ditto. Can't wait to see you then too. All right, let's get this bookmark started. So I'm gonna grab them out of here again. And we're gonna start by stamping our image here with the November Stampin' Cup. So here it is. Mine's not all nice and pretty because I've been using it and I haven't stored it away as I should. Thanks, Rosie. I think this is a fun one. Try to do something a little different. I want to try to do more things like this, more projects that kind of stretch your card making supplies even more. Dang, is this like my right measurements? It is. Okay, I'm going to save this for later. I think that was a happy accident. And we're going to use this cardstock here to stamp our, let's do it like this. I guess image, I guess is what I would say. I'm going to use this one right here, but there's 3 in here that would work really well. Even these little ones would be cute for just a tiny bookmark. I went for a more substantial ones. Okay, we'll stick that there. And it can be anywhere on the panel. It doesn't matter. We're just going to stamp this and then we'll end up coloring this. Again, I'm going to stamp it in a alcohol marker friendly ink. So I'm using Hero Arts Intensified Black. I am going to color this with Copic markers or alcohol markers, but you could use anything. You do not have to color it with, you can use whatever is your favorite coloring medium. All right, so we're just going to stamp this first. I'm going to grab my scrubber block. I just find this so much easier to put down that pressure. We'll ink it up and stamp it again. This is the beauty of having a MISTI. Kind of an essential stamping tool. I mean, you take this away from me, and I don't think you could take this away from me. I wouldn't let you. It's too essential for me. You could, of course, still stamp on wood block stamps, but this is just this just makes it perfect. Absolutely perfect. So totally essential. I'm gonna stamp it one last final time. I think that's all it needs. Probably could use a little more ink on my ink pad. That intensified black, he gets used quite a bit. All right, I think that looks great. There it is, all stamped. Beautiful. It says, "You are #1 in my book," which is so cute. I'm gonna clean my stamp real quick with my chamois. Ooh, Maureen says she belongs to 3 Facebook reading groups and runs her own small one of about 200. Oh my gosh, Maureen. 1000% yes. Oh, that's so awesome. I've been wanting so long. I'm so bad about spending the time to look it up, but I would love to join a reading group. I want to do one, I think, where we meet in person. I think that would be so fun and so rewarding. All right, I'm going to let this dry a little bit before I color it. While it is drying, we're going to work on building kind of the base for our bookmark. I have a strip of cardstock here that is, this is a 100 weight. Ooh, it's dirty on the backside. Shoot. Can I make it work? No, I'm going to have to cut another strip. I didn't realize that one was dirty. We're going to cut a strip of cardstock. Let me grab, do I have any? This one. So we're going to cut one right now because that one was dirty. Grab my paper trimmer. It needs to be about 6 inches long. And it doesn't have to be, these measurements are not, this is just the right measurements I found for this particular image that I felt like worked best. So I am going to cut this about 6 inches. So there's our 6, go up to there and cut this. And this is a 100-pound cardstock, so it's thick but not super thick. I wouldn't go much thicker than that because you do want it to bend. And then we're going to cut it to about, this one doesn't matter so much, this measurement. So I'm going to go like 2.5. I think that's plenty wide. Yeah, 2.5, something about that thickness. The 6-inch one is the one that matters the most. Now I'm going to grab the coordinating die for my image, and the Stamp and Cut comes with the clear stamp set that you saw me use earlier, this one here, with some really great sentiments. And Maureen, since you're getting the Stamp and Cut and the layering stencil, these sentiments here would look so great paired with that layering stencil. It has, if you need me, I'll be reading, and reading is my happy place. And there's coordinating dies to even cut out those sentiments, so you can have perfectly cut sentiment strips that go with those sentiments. So it's a great one. I'm going to grab the coordinating die for this, my image. And I'm going to need a pencil. So let me grab that. And I'll need an eraser eventually. Now, we're going to create this base for our bookmark. I'm using the die as a guide. I'm going to line up the bottom of the die with the bottom of my paper, and I'm going to line up the die on the right side. It could be the left side, whatever one you prefer, but I'm going to do the, take that back. This is the left side, Channin. This is left. I'm going to line it with the left side, but it doesn't really matter which. And I want it to be just up against the edge. Then I'm going to trace around it with my pencil. Okay. So now we have one of our arches images traced. Then I will repeat that on the other end. This time I want to make sure it's lined up with the right side because I want this to be, I want these two die cuts, essentially, these two arched images to be as perfectly lined up as I possibly can get them. So I'm using the edges of the paper to help me do that. So again, I'm going to line up the bottom of the die with the bottom of the paper, and this time I'm going to line up the side of the die with the right side of the paper. Once I get it in place, I'll trace around everything. All right. Close enough. So now I have the strip with the two traced arches on it. Now we're going to connect them. We're creating this part here. I'll open it up so you can see. This part here, this strip. I'm going to use a ruler to do that. And I'm just going to eyeball center between the two of them. That looks about right. You're right there. And then just trace the ruler like so. So now we have kind of the whole bookmark traced out. Now we're going to do some partial die cutting here. Some partial die cutting. We don't want to completely cut this out because then we'll end up cutting off the top and we'll just have this die cut. So we want to stop die cutting about right here, if best we can. And you know, I think I'm going to need to switch to my slightly flatter. These are a little domed. They're going to make it tricky. So I need to switch out to my slightly flatter plates. Hold on, let me see where I tucked those. What happened to those? Oh, here's one. Grab that. And you know what I'm going to grab is my cutting mat thing, my magic mat. Here we go. Okay. Now, where did the dies go? What did I do with the dies? Here they are. Nope, that's not them. It gets so messy here so fast. I don't know how I lose all the things, but I do. All right, I got to figure out where that die went. Here it is, underneath my stuff. Ah! Okay. We need a little bit of tape. Hold this in place. Now line up the die and just line the die up with that traced outline. So pretty simple. Use a piece of tape to hold it in place. There we go. And then to do a partial cut, you're just going to make sure the plate doesn't completely cover the die. It's very, very simple. So I'm going to go like this, flip this around, take my top plate, and I want to stop about there. So when I'm feeding this into my die cutting machine, I'm going to feed it from this end. It's going to cut, 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 cut. And then once I run it all the way through, it's not going to cut this because there is no pressure there because I don't have the top plate on there. Pretty simple. But if you've never done before, it feels kind of different and may not have occurred to you. I don't think I mean, partial die cutting, I did not come up with it. Someone else much smarter than me did, and it's a great technique to kind of get a little bit different looks out of your under the plates. Yes, I have, technically this is replacing a plate here. So then my paper is in here and then my top plate's on top, but it's not completely covering the die. And you can see how it did a partial cut. See, I didn't completely cut. That's absolutely perfect. In fact, that's better than I expected. Okay, I'm going to remove the die, or remove the tape and the die actually, and repeat this on the other side. Now, if this seems too complicated, you could just cut a strip, die cut two die cuts. But this is going to be a more seamless, polished look. And that's why I like it. Okay, lining it up with my traced image, my paper pencil traced image. Use a couple pieces of tape to hold the die in place. And again, we're going to do a partial cut. I find it easier to do it this way. Slide it down. Here's my top plate. And I'm going to stop. I'm going to make sure the plate does not completely cover the die. About there, about like a 1/4 inch away. You want to stop a little bit more. You want a little bit more uncovered than you think because the die will cut a little bit past where you stop the plate. So just keep that in mind. So about there. So I'm going to run this through. You know what? And I'll do it on camera if I can. So I'm running it through my die cutting machine. Yeah, yes, it needs to be symmetrical. That's right. That is a very good point, Cassie. I didn't even think about that. You could, I mean, if you used some of the other images in the set that weren't symmetrical, like the stack of books, you could still make a bookmark with those. If you would probably have to do the, you would have to flip it over to do it, which is trickier. It is trickier. Or you could do this, cut the strip and then glue the die cuts to it, which again, I don't particularly like because I think it looks a little less seamless, but there are ways to work around. Symmetrical definitely makes it easier that this image is symmetrical on both sides. So when it folds, Cassie was really smart to point that out. So when it folds, it's going to line up because I didn't do anything. I didn't flip the die cut around, and I could get away with that because it is symmetrical. All right. That one stopped way shorter than I had liked, but I'll just cut it with scissors. And I got a weird like mark here, but I can get that off. Okay. So the rest of it we're going to cut with a craft knife. So we're going to cut the straight parts of the craft knife, and then any parts that didn't quite cut, like here, I'm just going to finish off with scissors. Let me grab my craft knife. Sorry, I bumped the camera with my foot. I apologize. Here we go. Here's my craft little cutting board, my ruler. This is a magnetic ruler. This is an awesome tool. I use this all the time. I use this to cut all my sentiment strips. This is from We Are Memory Keepers. It's a magnetic self-healing little pad. It has a magnetic ruler, which is wonderful, and it's metal, which I love metal rulers if I'm using a craft knife. And it even comes with all the tools too. It comes with a craft knife as well. So I'm going to cut this. And then I'll do the other side. Okay, that's it. We are home stretch. So the sides are all cut. This side completely came free because I got really lucky and that just die cut perfectly. Let me find my scissors. Here we go, and we'll cut the rest of it. So I'm just going to hand cut. I call it kind of follow along the pencil line that I made. Perfect. This one is almost cut all the way through. I just need to do the last little bit. And then this last side, again, following along with the pencil line. There we go. That is our base for the bookmark. That was the hardest part, and it's done now. Now all we really have left is coloring. I'm going to try to find my eraser and do a little cleanup. Of course, I lost him. He's gone. He's missing. I don't know where he is. We'll grab another eraser and erase. Should really only have pencil marks at the top there. Everything else was left aside, kind of left. And I'm gonna do one little cleanup here. Now you could straight up like fold this over or you could score it if you want to. You could even laminate this. I tried laminating. That's a cool thing to do too if you want it to be a little bit more long lasting or not getting dirty or anything. I'm just going to fold it over there real quick and just kind of score it down. And where's my score tool? Oh, can't grab it. There it is. Good press. And that's kind of the base for our bookmark. Now we just have our image. And we'll keep that handy because we're going to need that eventually. Let me grab all my Copics. And you know what? I'm going to do a real quick heat set with my heat tool just to make sure that ink is completely dry before we color it. We are on home stretch. All right, We're going to start with the background. I have some light teals picked out for that. I think I dropped one. Didn't I drop one? Remember I was dropping one? Yes. Did drop one. I'm going to start with my lightest shade first, which is BG11. BG. We got the BGs. We got a lot of BGs today. Trying to think of a BG song, and I can't, like, my brain is not thinking of one. I keep thinking of a song from Charlie's Angels, which is not, I don't think that's BG's. And I'm going to color around the stars, color around the butterflies. And I'm going to color this as fast as I possibly can because I feel like coloring is kind of uninteresting to watch personally, but unless it's like sped up. So I will go quickly. And the background takes the longest. So we color about a little bit less than halfway with that light blue. We'll definitely be coming back to it. Now to our medium blue, which is BG 32. And I'm start to employ the feathered stroke so we get a better blend. Because we're creating a little gradation here in this background. Definitely use that feathered stroke when I'm approaching that lighter area. It is tricky in some areas where there's all those other images and it's not just flat surface area that we're coloring. All right, and then moving on to the last one. How deep? Oh, that's a good one, Rosie. I can only think of, you can tell by the way I do my walk. That one. I'm a woman's man. That's the only one I can think of. I'm a little more of a Fleetwood Mac girl myself than I am a Bee Gees person. Don't dislike the Bee Gees, but if we had a Fleetwood Mac reference, I might be able to do more songs. All right. That is looking great. I'm loving it. I'm going to do a little of this darker shade up here. Again, doing that feathered stroke. And then we'll just blend everything out. And that is the hardest part of this, is coloring that background. And I'm not color, like, I'm being a little sloppy. So I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I can't color. I don't think I'm the best colorer either, but I do think the alcohol markers are fairly forgiving. They make you look better than you are. And a lot of my sins are going to be covered up with the other colors that I add. So I'm not stressing. Okay. Now final blend with that lightest shade. So I'm going back through all my colors. Oh, your 15-year-old loves the Bee Gees. Isn't that funny? I feel like younger kids are discovering all these like older bands now thanks to TikTok. How did your son discover the Bee Gees? I wonder. That's my theory. That's my running theory. They are funny though. I mean, the way he sings is unique and, you know, will surprise you and delight you if you've never, you know, when you hear him for the first time. All right, we're calling that done. We got a beautiful gradation here. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the colors. And I'm going to grab my OG one here so as a reference. Let's start coloring the book. I have a couple of dark teals picked out for the cover. Just going to start with, this is BG 49. Just going to lay it down as my base. There we go. Then we'll go to BG 09. That's the darkest. We'll add it to the spine and to the sides here, just a little bit, darken things up so it has a little more dimension than just a flat color. Very eclectic taste. I do too. I do too. I think I do too. I get that. So it's from you. I mean, my girls know about Fleetwood Mac because of me. But then I also like folk a lot of, I mean, that's not a stretch. I think folk and Fleetwood Mac are adjacent, if not the same. I mean, okay, this is YG03. I'm going to start coloring the stem, the leaves, I guess. I don't need to color the stems, but the leaves with this beautiful, like key lime green, which we have all over our card. Then I'm going to grab G43, which is slightly darker, a little olivey, and just add a little shadow to the base of the leaf, which is where the leaf meets the stem. And then let's stick with the greens and color our frame. We're going to use 3 greens. Start again with that lightest green, which is YG03. Creating a gradation here with that frame as well. You can see I really did pull, these could be whatever colors you want. I tried to make this sort of match the card, kind of go with the card. Now we're on G14. And then we'll finish with G07. We're on home stretch here. So pretty. I love it. Okay, we're going to add a little shadow to the book pages with our very light teal, which is BG11. Let's do the right side. I'm going to add it to any place that would be in shadow, so kind of the center. And then right along where the 2 pages overlap, there should be a little shadow there. Do the same over here. Perfect. And I'll hold it to the camera so you can kind of see a little bit better. I'm glad it was helpful, Maureen. Brianna, hello, friend. And then we'll finish the flowers with some yellows. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's do the butterflies. I used the same combo of dark teals that I used on the cover for the butterflies. And I just noticed I did a really messy job coloring here, so I'm going to try to clean that up. I am not neat and tidy when it comes to coloring. I try, but I'm too impatient. I love these butterflies. They're so cute. Even add that darker to the center. So they have a little depth, even though it's probably not even noticeable. And the last thing is the flowers. We have some pinks and yellows picked out for those. I'll start with the yellow flower, starting with Y21. And this is YR23. I love this color. I use it all the time. Then R11 for the flower petals. This is where I'm going to clean up where I was sloppy with my coloring. Use the pink to kind of pick up some of the blue that I got on the petals, or the teal rather. Then we'll finish with R22 at the center of the petals, or we're, I guess the base of the petals, the better way to say that. I'll blend it out with a little bit. It's a big transition, so I'll blend it out. Okay, we're almost done here. And then I'm going to use that R22 to color the center of that yellow flower. And then grab these yellows again, Y21, YR23 for the center of the pink flowers, and we are done. Coloring done. Okay, and I know you guys have been so patient. I'm sure you guys are anxious to see the sneak peek. Why does this keep... Oh, I know why. I bumped the camera with my foot, my big foot. That's why it's off. Get these out of the way. And let's die cut this out. It's going to be so cute. It's going to be such a cute bookmark. You guys, I don't think I've ever shared this before, but I am a huge Jane Austen fan. I love her books. So good. Seen, of course, all of the Masterpiece Theater renditions. Those are my favorite of any of her novels, any of her books. Love, that is my, if I'm in need of comfort, that's what I'll watch. And I actually had a book themed, I had a Jane Austen, very loosely Jane Austen themed wedding. Like we took pictures of our rings in a Jane Austen book, and we even made our own invites, of course, because we are, we're paper crafty people. Kathy, did you have it? You love Jane Austen. I love hearing that. We themed our invites off of Jane Austen. Like we had ourselves, we weren't photographed, but my husband kind of created caricatures, I guess, of us in Regency style clothing. And when this collection came out, that's what I kept thinking about. And I'm so excited. I keep thinking about, I can't wait to put this bookmark in one of my books. It's just going to be so cute. Oh my gosh. I totally agree, Rosie. Rosie says, if you are a vintage hero arts fan, go through your stash. She's so right. There are so many literary quote stamps. I don't doubt it. Slightly obsessed. So me too, Kathy. I'm obsessed. That's my favorite. I love it. And I watch it over and over and over again. Watch them, read them, listen to them over and over again. They're my favorite. But my favorite one is not, I love Pride and Prejudice, don't get me wrong, but Persuasion is one of my favorites. I love Persuasion. Okay, we are home stretch here. We got this die cut out, ready to stick it down. I'm going to use double-sided tape to stick it down. Just use my tape runner, if he's still here. Okay. I'm just going to line it up. Perfect. And actually, that's an opportunity. If it's slightly off, you can line your die cut, which mine is. It's almost impossible to get these two pieces lined up perfectly when that's the whole point of cutting that strip and lining the dies up, is to get it as close as perfectly lined up as we can. But you can use the die cut to kind of move it over, and I did move it over just a hair. So now when it's closed, it's perfectly lined up. But it doesn't have to be perfectly lined up when it's closed, because when it's in use, there's pages sandwiched in between. So no one's really going to know. I know Rosie made tons of bookmarks in a different style. And you used, Rosie, didn't you use a lot of this collection, right? Yeah, give it a try. And I'm sure you guys have all of these, you know, your products. And you could do this, you can take this idea and use something else in your stash, I'm sure. This concept of making a bookmark. I basically showed you how to do it. I do think, Cassie, you were really smart to point out that symmetrical images probably are a little bit easier to do. And you can definitely follow all the steps that I did here with a similar symmetrical image. Next thing is the magnets. So you probably, if for storage, you probably have magnetic sheets laying around. You can use those. They don't have to have adhesive on the backside, but if they do have adhesive on the backside, that makes it even one step easier. You can also just my magnet sheet that I'm using here does not have any adhesive on it. I'm just going to use double-sided tape. So I'm going to use some like score tape. Stick it down. Something good and strong. I'm gonna cut this piece in half. Where's my scissors? I don't know. Here they are. I'm just gonna eyeball it. And I'm gonna stick the like I agree, Kathy. Nothing else will get it done. I totally agree. And line that up. There we go. So the sticky sides are, you know, the I don't know how to say this, guys. This is I'm out of my depth here with magnets. I'm out of my depth, but the sides that are attracted to each other, have them stick together. So the two pieces stuck together. We're magnets were beyond my science skills. I just know they stick together. And then I'm going to grab some score tape and stick it down on one of the sides. And I'm going to do a lot. I'm going to be generous. I really want this to have a good hold. There we go. And this one I cut a little bit too long. Cut that off. Where'd it go? Get out of here. Magnetized. And we'll stick this down here. It doesn't fit. All right. I'm overdoing it. I just want it to be plenty, probably not necessarily, but plenty of adhesive on there. Okay, I'm going to do the other side too real quick while we got it going. That is the best they can line up. That's how they want to be. So I'm going to leave them, I'm going to let them be that way. I got a snoring cat in the background. Every once in a while you guys can hear her, but I think she might be a little bit too far to be heard. And no Oliver. He hasn't made an appearance in quite a while. My other kitty, my orange tabby. I know, that's what I need. Magnets for dummies. That's precisely what I need. All right, there we go. Just removing the backing on, and again, you can find at Michael's. I even looked it up before and I was going to get it, but I just didn't have time. They have magnetic sheets that have adhesive on the backside, so you could use that instead. But you might, just in case you happen, because I know a lot of you guys store your dies on magnetic sheets. If you happen to have like a spare sheet, you can just use that, even if it doesn't have adhesive on the backside. And then I'll stick this down inside our bookmark. Now I'm just going to remove the backing on the other score tape. And then close it. And there we go. Our bookmark is done. So cute. Works great. Put your pages, lock your page in, close it. Just adorable. I love it so much. And I think it'd be so cute if I cut a little slot in here. I'm going to try it real quick, guys. I can't help it. It's an obsession. I must do it. I'm just wondering if I have like a die I could use. I think the best thing to do is just cut it with my craft knife. I don't think I have a die that's thin enough. Okay, we'll just make a little ruler mark. Got to bring the full idea to fruition. And then we will I don't want it too big. Cut a little. I have to make it somewhat big though. I got to make it the biggest point here. It has to be at least that big. How do we look? Fairly center? Fairly straight? I should take more time and care for this, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to wing it. I think I can do it. I believe in me. Is it high enough though? It doesn't matter because we can place it wherever we want. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay. I'm going to start erasing things so I can see things better, what I'm doing. Cut another slot just to make it a little bit bigger. So we can feed it through. Oops. Let's try that again. Okay. And almost done. All right. There's our little slot that we cut. Get that little piece off. I can't get off. And then we can just slide in our bookmark. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Just like so, and that's part of the gift. How cute. And if you want it even cleaner, I'm just realizing now, I could even put like another panel, just glue a white panel in the back, but just make sure I only do glue around here. So I almost take create a little pocket. So fun. Cute. I love it. And that could go with like a book. I love that gift idea. So fun. Okay. So let me show you. You guys have been so patient. I know you guys are anxious to see the December card kit. So this is not released. Let me get some things talked about before we look at it. Grab the box so you have something to look at. Okay. This is not available yet. Though we are sold out, it looks like, of the November card kit. But a lot of the products I should use today, like the layering stencil and this awesome stamp and cut set, are still available. So those are still available. But the December card kit this won't be available for purchase till I think you sign up the 27th. I think that's the first day you can sign up. The official release is December 1st. It's super cute. If you're already a card kit subscriber, then you're already subscribed to this kit. Or if you're a whole studio subscriber, you are going to get the kit as well. But it's a great, great theme. I love it. Perfect for December. Perfect for December. Oh, and I want to grab my cards. I'm so sorry. Let me grab my cards real quick because you guys are going to need to see some of these in action. The question is, where did I put them? Where did they go? Gotta be over here. Oh, here they are. Yay, I found them. I was so worried. I'm like, I can't find them. Okay. I apologize. It took me a minute to find. Yay, drum roll. Okay, I gotta grab the cards so you can see some of them in action. Okay, so this is the December card kit. Not available yet, but will be available December 1st for sure. It is awesome. First, of course, there's colored cardstocks in there, just like the past previous kits. You have a beautiful warm palette. This is kind of your first little inkling of what's all included in the kit. Some beautiful colored cardstocks. I think there's 10 in all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, 10 sheets. Lovely warm colors. We're going to keep those fanned out here. This is Alabaster, a cream. One of my favorite colors, actually. And of course, Poppy, also one of my favorite. The best red ever. And then the first product I'm going to show you is an awesome stamp set. It's a 6x8 stamp set, so it's huge. I'm trying to find some cardstock so I can put underneath it so you can see it better. Here we go. Let me grab it. Now my stamps are, this is my set. This is my December card kit. So I apologize. My stamps are loved and used already. So they're a little stained. And I did already transfer them to a magnetic sheet so you could see. So this is basically a big Stampin' Cut. You have a large 6x8 stamp set that has this wonderful soup kind of get well theme. I love it so much. The images are adorable. There's a lot of two-step stamps. So you have a big pot here with soup. This is used to two-step stamp to create the soup, which makes it very dimensional. You have a little stamp here to add a detail, colored ink to the soup pot, a lid. You have a smaller soup bowl, same thing. You have two-step to kind of create the soup inside the soup bowl. You have a bunch of fun vegetables for adding into the soup bowl or decorating around the soup bowl. It's so cute. And then you have a bunch of sentiments, like I said before, kind of building on the theme of get well, but not just get well. You also have your super. You have a get well soon. This can look like noodles stamped inside the soup bowl. It fits perfectly in the pot. It's so cute. Life is short. Lick the bowl. Adorable. Feel better fast. And this one says, consider this a big squishy hug. This sentiment actually works really well for the other die set that's included in the kit, which I'll show you in just a minute. Then you have deep breath, friend. You got this. So cute. You're super. And a super big thank you. So I love the fun puns and not just get well. There's also kind of just like general appreciative kind of sentiments as well. And the images are so cute. Love the two-step stamps. So this is a great stamp set. Of course, there are coordinating dies that go with it that'll cut everything out. So all of the images, the only exception is the steam, but everything else there's a die for. All the sentiments. It's just so wonderful to have those coordinating dies. It makes it so much easier to line it up. Yep, Rosie's right. She said it was super. It is. So this is a really great stamp set. I had so much fun creating with it. Let me show you a project I made with that stamp set. Here you can see that soup bowl stamped out. I did use the second stamp to kind of stamp a colored ink there. I did also color, so I did both. And then I created the soup with the two-step stamps here. And then I colored and stamped and colored all the images. And it's such a fun way. You can, of course, kind of create a tabletop and like food's being chopped up, but it's such a fun theme. I love it so much. I think it's so creative. I'm obsessed. I love the retro color palette. Like the moment I saw the colors, I was like, oh my gosh, this is for me. So a really great stamp set. Love the coordinating dies. There's also another die set included in this kit, and it's a big one. It is large. Let me pull it out here. You can actually see I used part of this die set for these hands here holding that soup pot. And here it is. It's a kind of a really unique and creative, kind of like a full panel die. You have these two dies here that create, let me turn them both over so you can see this really kind of cool interlocking panel. And you have the two arms that look, once they're interlocked, they look like they're giving a hug, which works again with that sentiment on the stamp set. Consider this a big squishy hug, which is so sweet. You have a heart die that you can actually place inside their arms. I'm trying to grab some cardstock here so you can see it better. Let's grab, everything's just out of reach. Okay. There you go. You can see it a little bit better on there. And I do have one example, but there's a lot more that you'll see once the kit obviously is released or sneaked. But it's really cute. You can have a lot of creative play with the hands. You can use the hands and arms separately, cut them out, or you can use them kind of how they were intended, which is to create this really beautiful panel with the heart. And of course, there's a couple different sleeves. You can do striped sleeves. You can do plain sleeves with a little cuff. You can have some fun playing with that look as well. You can see on this one, I did the striped sleeves. Let me show you a card created with this incredible die set. I think it's so cool. Here's another card that I created, and I kind of, again, stretched kind of the use of these dies, and I paired them with some more of the stamped images from that awesome 6x8 clear stamp set. I had the soup bowl in the arms, and then I tucked in some of the spoons and the pepper shaker in there as well. But again, you could easily not do those images and just put the heart inside. There's a lot of fun, creative looks that you can do with this. Super cool. I think this is such a unique and versatile set. It doesn't have to just, especially the dies, this die set here, it does not have to be used with the soup theme. It could totally be a different look, and you could have a lot of fun putting different images and different things in those arms that are crossed. It's just such a cute set. So that, we're gonna put those together, is the products. There's one more little bonus thing included in this set. Let me grab it out of the box. And that is and I apologize, this is like a sample one, so yours is cuter than mine, but there is also some brown acrylic speckle. It's really awesome. It's kind of creamy. You do want to mix it up and shake it before you use it, but it just adds that perfect splatter. And because it is an acrylic, it will show up true to the color of the actual acrylic paint or acrylic speckle on all of your colored cardstocks, because it is completely opaque. So it will look brown even on a dark red, or even on the cinnamon. So it's a really nice speckle and really great, I think, with the entire color palette. So that is it. That is the December card kit. I think it's so cute. I cannot wait for you guys to see the other products that are released in this kit. I think this is such a unique theme and really perfect for this time of year where people are getting a little colds and things, and just a nice way to kind of drop a nice, cute, kind of friendly kindness message to someone that you're thinking of them, and you hope they get better. And I just think it's so great. And also, you guys, think of how great this would be to create little tags and to give somebody like a gift of homemade soup in a jar and have this on the tag. I mean, come on, that's going to be so cute. I cannot wait to do that. It's going to be adorable. All right, guys, I'm going to switch my camera view here and sign out for the day. There we go. There we are. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed creating this fun card with the November card kit. Unfortunately, it looks like the November card kit is sold out, but the layering stencil I think is still available, as well as the November stamp and cut, which is what we use to create our awesome magnetic bookmark. I hope you enjoyed those creations and that sneak peek of the December card kit. The December card kit will be available. If you're not a current subscriber, it will be available for you to subscribe December 1st. So hold out. Sneak peeks are coming very soon, so you can check those out. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And I will see you guys. The next live I'll be doing will be for the card kit for the whole studio, kind of going over everything. So stay tuned for that. I think we'll be doing that the 3rd. I think that's the dealio. So stay December 3rd. You'll see I'll kind of go over everything, and I'll even create a project. Oh, yes. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Those who celebrate Thanksgiving, I won't be seeing you guys till then. So enjoy that time with your families and just some time off. Hopefully you get some time off. And I hope everybody's getting some nice weather and everything. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you in about a week. Bye, everyone.